Um, what's up, everyone? This is Francisco, and in this video, I just wanted to talk about Steve Jobs, the supposedly one of the main founders of Apple Incorporated. But anyway, I didn't really want to focus my attention on him. I most um uh, wanted to focus mostly focus on um, job security. And it's funny because his last name is Job. Or Jobs. Jobs and Job. But anyway, so there's a difference, okay? So technically this tab should be first before this one, because job security is mostly what I want to focus on in this video. And I thought that the Steve Jobs movie, regarding the documentary of Apple, so there's a full documentary. Okay. And so I just thought that it was I thought this documentary was super interesting to me when I watched it back in about 2015, around there. So it's been like 8 years ago or something like that. I think my cousin was there watching it with me, and one thing that really stood out to me was in the scene where I'm sorry, hold on. Shit. So Apple movie scene where Steve Jobs gets fired. Yeah, from Apple, obviously. So I just wanted to kind of go back on that. And these people, fired him. And I just wanted to talk about job security. So these people who know about business all of a sudden came on board and decided to fire the head leader, the main, like the head designer, and the brains of the operation of the company. And these people probably figured out that they could get involved legally and fuck anyone over that they wanted. So here we see a vote. I mean, I don't know if this was part. I do remember something about this. Okay, so it was part of the movie. Yeah, they eventually fired Steve Jobs, and according to history, they fired him for like at least 10 years out of his own company. I don't know how it came about where he was able to go back into the company, but as far as I understand, he had some type of stocks and possibly royalties in the company. I mean, I don't know how all that works. Oh, it says get fired. Gets fired. Sorry, I just noticed this little error here. Instead of Apple movie scene where Steve Jobs gets fired. I mean, I can't believe Google didn't correct me on that right now. That's not even proper English. Steve Jobs get fired? I mean, I understand that got fired, G-O-T, but this is a fucking E. So anyway, let me search for that instead, because there is a huge fucking difference. So, yeah, honestly, I do not see, um, like, I can't even share, like, none of this footage with any of you. Like, look at this video. It's 4 minutes and 8 seconds. If I click on this and show you guys the video, YouTube will fucking flag me, like, flag my video. This one as well, like any video I share. So I can't even like do a proper, like documentary, which sucks big time. But I just gotta roll with the punches, this one right here is 6 minutes 25 seconds. This one is 3 minutes 20 seconds. This one is 3 minutes 49 seconds. This one down here is 3 minutes 14 seconds. This one is 4 minutes 18 seconds. This one over here, well, it's not showing me anything on that one. This one's a minute and 3 seconds. This one over here is 8 minutes 53 seconds. So Anyway, I just remember something like this, in the in the movie. I think this is where they're deciding to get rid of some of these people. And we can all say that maybe these people weren't entirely educated. So these educated people wanted to come on board and just fuck everyone over except themselves. So the government could fund them. So the government could give them money. So at the end of the day, what is that called? It goes back to the first tab. Job security. That's all these people wanted. They just wanted job security. And these people were willing to go to any extent to ensure that they would have job security. And what does that mean exactly? Job security. Well, it's just a guarantee that they won't go out of business and that they will continue to get paid regardless of the facts. And that's exactly what the fuck these people did. I could just imagine, because according to the documentary anyway, Steve Jobs was fired from his own company and he wasn't actually brought back or introduced back into his own company after 10 years. So that was quite quite a long time. So this poor guy got fucked over legally by these other no good son of a bitches that were more educated, possibly more educated than Steve Jobs, to the point where they were able to fucking fire him. So they possibly used their ranks and their education against Steve Jobs. Now, whether or not these people were part of the military or the United States branches, like the Coast Guard, the Army, or whatever, that's pretty much like besides the point. But it's possible that these people used the power, the ranks, against Steve Jobs. And then if Steve Jobs wasn't entirely educated, they possibly even used that against him as well. So because these people understood, they know business, they understood business, so they know how to get into any fucking business, any organization. They know how to get in there. Because in a way, these were, like bad wolves that entered the flock, the business that Steve Jobs and his family and his friends created. And these people corrupted and took over this organization. And they profited from it. And then, I don't know how long it took for Steve Jobs to die thereafter. After the after the 10-year mark that he was fired. I don't know, when he went back after the 10 years, I don't know how old this guy was. Me personally, I do not know how old he was. I do not know when he died. I don't really know a lot about his life. Okay? But I just thought about this, today, and I've been thinking about this. And you people out there have to be very intuitive. You guys have to be very attentive and aware of some of these people who are getting involved in businesses and business structures, especially for those of you that want better for this country of ours, for the United States of America. Okay? And not only for the United States of America, but for all the world and for all people. Okay? Because the last thing we want is for these people to get involved in a business just because a business is thriving and successful, and they figure out a way to get in there just to milk the company Like milking a fucking cow. You know, you're milking the cow, squeezing everything you can out of it. And that, I think that's what these motherfuckers were doing. And there's a ton of businesses out there. And I think these people, probably go to the companies that are most successful. Like the top 10 companies. And they just figure out a way to team up against everyone, and they kick everyone out. And that's exactly what happened with Steve Jobs. He got kicked out of his own company. And according to how I understand it, the head of directors, I guess they had like a board meeting or whatever, and they decided to rule against him, to not rule in his favor, and to ultimately get him fired from his own company. And I'm just bringing all this up because after he came back to his own company from those 10 years that he missed out on because of these people, how old was he? And how long thereafter was he in the business for? Was he in the business 5 years later? 10 years later? 15 years later? 20 years later? 25 years later? 30 years later? Question mark, because I do not know. Okay? But I think it's a very important question because he died of cancer. We all know later on he mysteriously died from cancer. So it's possible that the same motherfuckers that fired him possibly and probably drugged him as well, and inflicted him and drugged him or some shit. I mean, we never fucking know. But I do thank God for his persistency. I thank God for all the people that were involved. Because without all of these people's persistency, whether they were bad people or good people, or whether they just wanted to make money or they actually wanted to grow the business, sincerely grow the business for the benefit of the people, that we just don't really understand and know. Okay, but I do thank everyone involved, because if it wasn't for these people's hard work and efforts and everything that comes along with that, we wouldn't have AI technology right now. I think we wouldn't have self-drivable vehicles. We wouldn't have smartphones, obviously. We wouldn't have humanoid robots operating on the level that they are operating in right now, including like space rockets and like freaking what's his name, Elon Musk. You know, like I, I don't think PayPal would have been as successful if it weren't for all these phones that Steve Jobs pushed out, and all of his hateful competitors. You know, it made a drastic impact on the human race. So, we have to evaluate all of this information. As a people, and I mean, just imagine, because Steve Jobs, before he was fired, he wanted to create the Macintosh for the people. And these son of a bitches took him out of his own company for 10 miserable, long-suffering fucking years. And just imagine, people, how this life would have been like if Steve Jobs was never fired. So anyway, I'm going to end this video. Thank you all for watching. That's all I have for right now regarding this matter. I just think that especially with AI technology, there should be a way to differentiate the differences. People that just are in it to profit, and people that are in it to really make an impact for the greater good of humanity. And obviously for future generations to come.